Now to harrowing accounts of torture from refugees who fled China and say they still don't feel safe. Keir Simmons reports, and we have to warn you, some may find what you hear disturbing.
Inside this building, in the heart of New York, U.S. authorities say China was operating a secret police station, harassing Chinese dissidents. This week, 2 men arrested. It's now shut down.
We cannot and will not tolerate the Chinese government's persecution of pro-democracy activists.
The U.S. says it's a global pattern, China's communist government going after those who oppose it. We've travelled to the edge of Europe, Norway, to meet refugees who fled China. Abdueli Ayup says he was tortured and sexually abused by Chinese authorities.
What is the torture?
The torture, mostly electric stick. Your skin will be burned.
He's part of a mostly Muslim ethnic minority called Uyghurs from northwest China. The US and others say they're victims of genocide, which China denies. The US State Department says more than 1 million Uyghurs were sent to what China calls re-education camps. China says they harbored separatist and terrorist thoughts. Abdueli says he and his family did nothing wrong.
My sister sentenced 11 years. And my brother sentenced 14 years.
Abdueli's niece died in prison.
We are living because of them. I am living because of them.
A recent UN report documented intimidation, threats and reprisals against Uyghurs overseas, and Uyghurs forcibly returned to China. Student Nurak was in Turkey when he got a threatening call, so he moved again.
It's a kind of like a warning shot for me, that phone call.
The anonymous phone call?
Yeah.
Abdueli and his wife Miracle fear speaking to us may come at a cost to their families back home.
I love them so much, and I'm sorry if anything bad happened to them because of me.
You are waiting for them to die there.
Tonight, the Chinese embassy in Washington tells NBC News their accusations are aimed at undermining China's unity.
President Xi says every country is different. America just needs to understand that.
We shouldn't accept dictatorship. We shouldn't accept sexual abuse. We shouldn't accept torture.
Keir, let me circle back to those Chinese secret police stations. You're hearing there might be more in the U.S.
That's right, Lester. One watchdog group tells us there are at least 4 in the U.S., including one in Los Angeles. China says they are just volunteer groups helping Chinese nationals abroad. Lester?
All right, Keir, thanks. Good to have you here.
We are learning a lot about what China's doing when it comes to interterrestrial travels because some of these leaks have told us that they're moving along at a pretty brisk pace. Some say the pace far faster than ours. Gordon Chang with us right now on the significance of that. Gordon, it's good to have you because some of the revelations, besides just the capacity they have China for a supersonic drone that can travel at 3 times the speed of sound, an international space station, in their case, they're the only nation, so it isn't it's just their national space station. The fact that they now have the capability of knocking out enemy satellite guidance and have that technology today, what are they up to?
Well, they believe, and they're right, that in the first moments of a war, that'll be fought in space, where we will try to take down their satellites, they'll try to take down ours. And they probably will move first, Neil, which means they will be more successful than we will be. And another thing, we just don't understand the maliciousness of the Chinese system, so they could really take us by surprise.
One of the things they have is this technology that can disrupt other technology. In other words, the ability of our technology to communicate with other forms of technology and monitor troop movements and the like, sort of like what we do in Ukraine right now. If they could jar that, stop that, prevent us from getting information on that, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, it certainly is. And if we go back to the Obama administration, there was a political decision made not to try to defend our satellites because we reasoned that we had more assets in space and that if we started a race to protect satellites, we would be the losers. We wanted to try to entice China and Russia into not defending their satellites. Well, that just misunderstood the Chinese and the Russians. And so now we're behind and we are vulnerable in space.
Now, meanwhile, they're going it alone to the moon. They've made great progress, we're told. They might beat us there in the second wave of astronauts to get there. We can always say, of course, we did this more than 50 years ago. But that being said, they're active on the far side of the moon, so we're not aware of exactly all they're doing. But their plans on the moon are much more sweeping than what we're doing. Should we worry?
Yeah. In 2017, Chinese space officials started talking about how the moon and Mars should be considered part of the People's Republic of China and that they would exclude others from going there if they had the capability to do that. Now, we say that that's ludicrous, but, we didn't listen to Osama bin Laden either.
Do we now have any way to counter what China's doing now? In other words, any more economic sanctions, or is it that we're afraid of implementing them because they're going to hurt us?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of ways to go after China, which right now is in distress. It has an economy that they said grew 4.5% in Q1, but probably was a lot less because we know that it contracted in January and February. So, yeah, economic sanctions. There's all sorts of things we can do in space, but we have decided as a nation not to do those things and to watch the Chinese overtake us. And that is a strategic failure that will be historic. The American people ought to demand the Biden administration start racing to the space as the Chinese have.
Indeed, and they are racing along. Thank you very much, Gordon.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
And the busy I95 corridor here in the Northeast also slowed this morning by a massive tanker truck explosion. Just look at that. The crash killing one person and severing the southbound lanes of a major bridge. ABC's Mona Kuzar-Abdi has more on that.
This morning, investigators assessing the damage after a deadly fire left one dead and several others injured in Connecticut. A fuel tanker rolled over on the Gold Star Bridge in Groton Friday morning, leaving a cloud of black smoke and massive flames.
It looked like hot lava heading towards you, but it was moving quicker.
Harrowing video showing off-duty police officer Lieutenant Cornelius Rogers helping evacuate passengers of this crashed car mere moments after it was engulfed in flames.
I went back to the passenger side, and as I saw the flames getting closer, I decided it was probably best to take him out of the vehicle.
Looks like a passenger vehicle. Tire blew out, created an incident with a tractor-trailer truck that went over, spilling about 2,200 gallons of fuel.
Among the chaos, people embracing beneath the black smog.
The freeway is literally on fire.
The bridge, which carries more than 100,000 vehicles a day across 11 lanes, grinding to a halt. The southbound portion remains closed. Chris Stevens drove by the inferno and took this video.
It's terrifying to look at. And then as you're driving by it, you just feel the heat. Like within a minute, when I was stuck in traffic there, I was sweating from it.
The Connecticut Department of Transportation looking into the structure for safety.
It's going to require us to do an extensive look at the steel structure to see when it will be safe to reopen it.
And some fuel did spill into the river below the bridge, but crews worked to contain that spill. And it is not clear when the lanes will reopen, Janae.
Unbelievable images there, Mona. Appreciate.
This is a little bit of a surprise for sure, given the conservative majority on the court. But when Dobbs came down, they specifically said when they overturned Roe versus Wade to leave this decision up to the states, right? That's what they said. Let the states decide. There's no federal constitutional right to an abortion. And so this one judge in Texas that was clearly forum shopped and picked by the people who are anti-abortion. They went to a place in Texas where they knew there was a judge that was 100% pro-life, anti-abortion, and he's the only judge who sits there, Judge Kaczmarek. They went there specifically knowing he would rule this way. There's many people around the country scratching their heads saying, how can one judge in Texas outlaw this medication for everybody, including in places where abortion is legal? So I'm very delighted and happy that the Supreme Court has pressed pause. It is not a complete victory because it's just a pause.
Glenn Greenwald is the host of System Update. He joins us tonight. Glenn, thanks so much for coming on. I'm actually in some ways glad that they went after a group of people I probably don't agree with on a lot of things, because it just makes it so much clearer. This is not partisan. This guy is saying something the regime doesn't like, and they're trying to put him in jail. How is this happening in America?
I think one of the critical things to remember is even before January 6th, the Biden administration said their priority is to launch a domestic war on terror, to take all the tactics we used against al-Qaeda and ISIS and foreign terrorist groups and direct it inward, because they perceive that anti-establishment dissidents in America, like the person you just showed, are the real enemy. And that's what this is about. There's a foreign agents law that is supposed to be, if you say things you don't really believe because some foreign government is paying you millions of dollars to say them, you have to register. That's not the case with these people. These are people who have been radical black leftists for decades. They're not the people the Democratic Party likes. They hate the Biden administration. They're against the war in Ukraine. And they claim that they found $500 here, $2,000 there that have origins in the Russian government for events they did. This is what we criticize Russia for. We fund opposition groups in Russia, and then Russia says those are foreign agents. And we object and we say a foreign agent is only somebody saying things a foreign government tells them to say. And now we're using that same theory. We say Russia makes Russia tyrannical to criminalize dissent in the United States. That's what this case is about.
So what's so interesting about this is these are not MAGA people. These are the victims of systemic racism they're always lecturing us about, right? And their First Amendment rights have just been stripped, and they're looking at jail terms for having opinions Biden doesn't like. Where are the liberals? Where's Morning Joe? Where are all the sensitive white liberals to defend these people? They're not.
Well, this is why I'm so glad you're covering this case, Tucker, because this is the tactic that tyrants always use. When they want to implement an authoritarian precedent, they choose people that makes others uncomfortable. When they wanted to start banning people from the internet, they chose Milo Yiannopoulos and Alex Jones because they knew that even Republicans would say, I don't want to defend those people. They're a bridge too far. And then the precedent gets set and they expand it inward. Again, these are not people the kind of black radicals Democratic Party establishment representatives like. They're people who attack the Biden administration, who don't vote Democrat. These are real dissidents, and they know that not even Democrats will defend them.
No, they're not taking money from Apple and Facebook. They weren't in on the BLM scam. They actually mean it. Now you're making me like them. Glenn Greenwald, I appreciate your coming on tonight and getting, as you always do, to the core issues underneath it all. Thank you.
Great to be with you, Tucker. Thanks.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.